Code monkey, get up, get coffee. Code monkey, go to job. Code monkey, have boring meeting with boring manager Rob. Rob say code monkey very diligent, but his output stink. His code not functional or elegant. What do code monkey think? Code monkey think maybe manager wanna write login page himself. Code monkey not say it out loud. Code monkey not crazy, just proud. Code monkey like Fritos. Code monkey like Tab and Mountain Dew. Code monkey very simple man. Big warm fuzzy secret heart. Code monkey like you. Code monkey like you.
What's new, Dino Dudes? It's me, the Media Raptor, and welcome back to another episode of the Media Raptor Reviews. No one cares, okay? It's technically May, but I'm not doing another Marvel May because there really aren't enough movies for me to cover. And I'm only really here to talk about the newest one and by far the biggest one. Avengers Endgame. Yeah, it's finally here, the 2019 culmination of over a decade of movies. 22 films have been leading to this movie. We have seen post-credit scene after post-credit scene, tease after tease, movie after movie. Us fanboys have been marathoning and theorizing and planning and waiting and hoping and praying. And it's finally here. And was it any good? Yeah, this was a really good movie. Unsurprisingly, considering the fact that it's from the Russo brothers who have been making these movies for years, and I don't think they've made a bad one yet. But it may not be as good as everyone is claiming it is. Don't get me wrong, fantastic movie. I can tell you right now, it's a solid 3.5 Raptor Claws out of 4. Go out and check it out. And I know what you might be saying, hang on, didn't you give Pokemon 3 Raptor Claws out of 4? Yeah, keep in mind that's a kid's movie. I'm talking in terms of like a movie for everyone here. This is a fantastic movie, easily one of my favorite Marvel films, but I do have issues with it. This will be a spoiler-free review. I will not be giving away any major plot points. I might give away a few tiny things here or there, which are much more to be expected than anything. So if you don't want spoilers, though, I do recommend you kind of get out while you still can. Okay, so my only real issue with the movie, which is both one of its biggest strengths and its biggest weaknesses, is the writing. Not only does this movie kind of have a bad habit of doing tell and not showing, but there also is quite a bit of tonal whiplash. Now I understand the Marvel Cinematic Universe has never been dark. It's always been relatively lighthearted, humorous, and they always try to have fun with it. However, I do feel like this movie kind of set out to do something really cool, as the intro is really interesting with what they do, and I love what they decided to do, and their whole plot to try and set things right is really interesting. But it doesn't feel like a movie. It feels like almost like Batman v Superman. It feels like several movies are kind of stitched together into one big movie, and never really kind of focus on one thing for too long. However, everything in this movie is so entertaining, I am more than willing to let that slide. So when certain characters don't act like the way they should, or like they act differently from how we've seen them in other films, I'm willing to let it slide. When certain things happen that make me go, wait, why are we doing this? Or, hang on, I'm so confused, why is this happening? I'm willing to let it slide because these characters are so entertaining and they've built it up for 10 years, and everything does make sense within the Marvel Cinematic Universe. That's the amazing thing about it, is it all makes sense. Aside from one thing. Captain Marvel shows up a few times in this movie, and much like in her movie, it really seems like she only ever shows up when people need her to do something to try and turn the tide of battle. Not because she has any character development or growth, but because, oh wait, what do we do now? Just throw in Captain Marvel, nobody will complain about it because they don't want to get attacked online about it. She very much does just sort of seem like a plot point that could have been a lot more useful in this movie, but for some reason she just sort of disappears and reappears. Yes, I know they gave a reason for it, but it's not exactly the best reason. However, the characterization in this is great. I love the interactions between all the characters. I love seeing Rocket and Iron Man working together. I love seeing what Nebula has become. I love seeing what they did with Hulk, with Thor, with Captain America. Even Iron Man, who admittedly reverts to very much his unlikable self for a short time. It's understandable. In fact, it's quite justified. All the choices in this movie make sense. Characters acting differently than you think they would? Well, stop and think about what happened not just in the last movie, but what's happened throughout all the movies leading up to this. A lot of the choices, a lot of their fears, a lot of their decisions, it's just a reaction to what they've been through over the past 10 years. However, there is one thing I think would have made more sense for one character, for Ant-Man. Unsurprisingly, he's back. You see that in the trailer, so it's not a spoiler. However, this is kind of a spoiler, but I'm going to keep it brief. His daughter isn't one of the people that got turned to dust. I think, and it's going to sound really morbid, it would have been better if she was killed in the snap. Because that way, it would give him more of an emotional attachment to want to go through with everything they do. With the plan they come up with to try and set things right, he's there, and I completely understand why he is there, because it's the hero thing to do, but I think if his daughter was gone, it would have given him more of an emotional investment and given the audience more reason to understand why he's so invested in all this, aside from trying to save the world. However, for what it is, it's still really good. For example, for Thor, they kind of changed his character for this movie. I'm not going to spoil why, but at first I felt personally attacked, and then I absolutely loved it. They managed to write him perfectly, and I dare not say more without spoiling it. Overall, while the writing does have some questionable moments and some lapses in logic here or there, overall the entire film is really well written. This clearly was the build-up of 10 years, and let me just say, the final battle and the payoff of it all, absolutely worth it. The movie can feel a bit long, as it does feel like a couple scenes could have been shortened or taken out of them, just sort of sitting around and talking about how stuff sucks now, rather than trying to go out and do anything about it. I do understand that's there to show how these characters are being affected by everything, and to show what's happened to Hawkeye, who, actually, I really like what they've done with him. And overall, yeah, just things are really well written. Even the emotional moments, there is an emotional moment around just past the halfway mark I was not expecting. And, well, I cried a little bit. It was surprisingly emotional. I felt a little teary-eyed, but I didn't outright cry at any point, except the ending. That got me close to it, but I dare not say why. Sorry, my dog's just snoring over there. It works. Part of what helps make the script work is the actors. Every actor in this movie is fantastic. Chris Evans, Chris Hemsworth, Scarlett Johansson, Jeremy Renner, everyone. Josh Brolin, Bradley Cooper, everyone. I'm sorry, just Robert Downey Jr. Every single actor in this movie is firing on all cylinders to make this the best performance they can give for what will be what might be the final Avengers movie, and it completely succeeds. You know what else was firing on all cylinders? The special effects. The costumes, the props, and the CG are all masterful. Now, I'm not expecting this to win an Oscar because, look, we've been around this block before. Just because Black Panther won a few Oscars, I highly doubt that means Avengers will. Especially because Black Panther was more story-driven than Avengers was. Look, I'm just talking right now. The special effects, fantastic. I love them. It looks great. And it was a marvel to see on the big screen. See what I did there? Something else that was great was the music. Once again, they kind of go for a mix of an epic orchestral score, which is truly one of the best ones they've had in the entire MCU. Utilizing both the old Avengers score along with remixes of many characters' themes and the Avengers score itself, as well as new music that definitely makes your spine chill or makes your hair stand up on end or makes you ready to fight a battle. They also kind of go Guardians of the Galaxy and bring some some not well-known, but some lesser-known songs into the movie at certain points to try and add some comedy or just for background music. And they're all great. Overall, yeah, Avengers Endgame, while it may not be a perfect movie, it is a darn spectacular ending to a 10-year franchise. Or at least this chapter in a 10-year franchise. Like I said, 3.5 Raptor claws out of 4. Now before you ask, is this my favorite superhero movie? No, it's not. I honestly don't think anything for quite a while will ever overtake Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse as my favorite movie, because that one not only had better emotional beats, better comedy, and just spectacular animation. It's just my opinion. This is still one of the best Marvel movies made to date and one of the best superhero movies to date, but Spider-Verse will always be the best to me. If you haven't seen it yet, what are you doing? Go out right now and see it before people spoil it. And believe me, seeing it in a theater full of people makes it all the better when everyone really gets into it. So anyhow, with all that being said, like the video and subscribe if you haven't already. Really helps the channel. Talk to me down in the comments. And until next time, this has been the Media Raptor saying keep cool, and Avengers and Dino Dudes, assemble. Until next time, keep cool. I don't know what I tried to do there.